All right, welcome, New Templars. I'm Dylan Lewis Monroe, aka A145 the Mapmaker, and I'm here today with one of my favorite crypto influencers, Mel Carmine from XRPQFS 1776. He has got a new documentary that the trailer is out and it's coming out very soon titled Dear Mr. President. So we're going to be talking about that today. Welcome to the show, Mel.
Thank you for inviting me. It's always a pleasure, Dylan. It's been a while since you and I have done one of these, and it was way long overdue. I'm glad that you saw the vision of the Dear Mr. President. A lot of people don't realize that these microphones have been clogged, and a lot of the bigger podcasters, unfortunately, have gotten to a point where they're making $200,000-300,000 a year, and they think they've arrived. I have news for you: they have not even close.
Well, like the banning's one thing and the shadow banning's a whole other thing. And um yeah, I know I've had to reset all my accounts. I'm on my sixth Instagram account. It's out of control. And so
Yeah.
yeah, I recorded I think was it 1 or 2 minute little clip for your documentary talking
Hmm.
about my journey, which that was a lot to cram into 2 minutes, but I
Right.
did my
Right.
best. But you've got how many different like influencers do you have in this documentary giving their testimony?
We got quite a few. I had to arm wrestle the living shit out of Nino Rodriguez. Finally got him on board, you know. But yeah, we got some big ones. We got some medium ones. We got some small ones. But the smaller guys who are hungry, who understand that this is a window of opportunity. There's a vacuum here that they can really get in and potentially get the spotlight because this, by all intensive purposes, this documentary should be tens of millions of views. That's if the audiences use their fingers and start sharing like crazy and get blisters and blood on your fingers, because that's the only way we're going to override these algorithms. If we all share it, the algorithms don't stand a chance. So will this movie be the full version of, be good for YouTube? I don't know yet. That's yet to be determined. Hopefully it is, because we have quite a few of the eyeballs on there. And we'll see what happens, man. The only thing we can do is just pray and hope, as they say, right?
So when is the actual release date for this?
September 9th on my birthday. Worldwide,
Nice.
internet, September 9th. 999, 9 o'clock in the morning. It's going to go. We're going to do maybe a marathon of 24, 36 hours, 40 hours where we're going to be constantly promoting like just days before the launch. When the actual launch happens, we're going to play. Hopefully, we get a lot of podcasters who want to replay this live for 24 hours, where the actual documentary will play on their stream, on their channels. And when it ends, it will starts again and then starts again all the way through for 24 or 48 hours. We're going to get it out to the world. We're unstoppable. We're not going to be stopped by censorship. We're not going to be stopped by press release companies that are stopping our press releases. We found one that's called Underground, and I believe our press release is going to be out today, our first one of many. I think we're going to do probably one every 3 days for the next 18 days. So we bought that package. This is Underground. They're basically sending us a message with the name itself. Say, hey, we're with you guys. We're part of the Patriots, which is good. Not as much of a reach as the communist one that's juiced in by Google, but it will do.
Definitely. And this is called Dear Mr. President. So have you done anything in the way of, are we trying to send this to Mr. President himself? Do we have an in through one of his like maybe through his little crypto czar like Bo Hines or David Sachs? Do we have any ins to actually get this in front of Donald Trump's eyeballs?
Well, thanks to Carol Maureen, she's a firecracker down there in Costa Rica, right? And she was able to get a hold of a guy by the name of Trennis Evans, which I'm going to invite to my show here this week, next week, whatever. Get him on. He's all about it. Him and I hit it off immediately. He called me at 7:02 in the morning, and we ended up staying on the phone for exactly 1 hour and 7 minutes. And we talked quite a lot. We just literally had an instant bromance, if you will, you know. And so he's all about it. He's a very busy guy. He was actually uh, brought in by Trump Jr. or Trump Sr., I don't know, or both of them, to actually fight this censorship and bring in the right attorneys to literally crush big tech on the censorship. So the timing could not be any better. The movie coming out and Donald Trump at the same exact time moving in the same direction. It's like we're meeting at the perfect crossroads, if you will.
It definitely seems like Don is delivering on a lot of promises. I mean, with the federalization of DC yesterday, we're starting to see the beginning of the Q myth of the military is the only way, the National Guard coming in, replacing these corrupt politicians, and yeah, we're seeing a lot more on that front than him helping with the censorship. But it's all in due time. You can't do everything at once, and I've been pretty satisfied with the progress we've seen this far in the second term myself. Um, and I'm dealing with censorship myself too. My current issue is my newsletter. I've switched domains. I'm sending this newsletter again, and I'm getting like a 3% open rate, and so it's killing my business. But thankfully, I'm an XRP investor, so I'm pretty much ready to retire, and so it's looking good. And I wanted to talk to you about. I know one major XRP influencer has had his Twitter account deleted recently. Ito Farina. Are you
Yes.
familiar with him? And do you know anything about? Was he exposing something that was not meant to be heard by the general public, and this is why he got banned? Or what's your opinion on that?
Well, every time somebody hits a nerve, we don't get to find out what that nerve is because they immediately move the content. And in his case, they removed his channel. I was honored to meet him in person in Vegas not too long ago, and at a private event. Is super nice guy, super incredibly intelligent, has his finger on the pulse. And if we get too close to the fire, it seems that somebody's willing to come by with a bucket of water and shut the fire down. And that's exactly what happened to Ito. It's very unfortunate. They don't want you guys to get rich out there. There's a censorship on that. That's why we're beating the drum as loudly as we can. Are we giving you financial advice? No, we're not. Do we believe that XRP, XLM? See, I got an interchangeable one
I
here.
like.
I can
Oh
actually,
wow, yeah, I like your new
yeah,
XLM
I can
hat.
actually, I can actually
Oh,
change it out. If I'm in an XRP state of mind, I could change it out to XRP, right, or XLM.
nice.
They should have a triple one down there, XDC, which is my third favorite flavor. But you can't get too close to the fire. They don't. They want you sick. They want you poor. They want you struggling. They want you desperate. They want you stressed out, and they want you off the planet as quickly as possible. But before they send you away, they want to take all your money,
That's
and they
pretty much what it
tax you,
comes down to.
and they tax you to death. Everything's tax, 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 tax. Right?
I
They
am
got you.
noticing that.
Yeah. They got their hands in your pocket and you can't move left or right. And so somebody has to do something about it. The ultimate price is that you and I are on the front lines. And if we were to lose this war, which we're not, but if we were to lose this war, there's going to be communism setting in the United States, and they're going to come kill you, Dylan, and they're going to come kill me, and they're going to go kill Joe Rosati, and they'll probably send a hit squad to go kill Carol Maureen down in Costa Rica. We're all done. You understand? Our lives are on the line. I mean, you think this is easy? You think this is a joke? No, this is not a joke. You guys are paying taxes, illegal taxes, I might add, illegal taxes on your property that you should own. Okay. You don't pay your taxes, they take your house. That money goes to fund what? Your kids' educational system, which is a joke. Absolute joke. You're
The
sending your kids to an
Democrat
indoctrination
indoctrination
camp,
camp.
right, to get indoctrinated so that they could serve the master. This smoke and mirror bullshit story that they've created. So you're paying for the demise of your own kids, which is keeping you broke, and you're keeping your kids dumb, and you're funding the whole fucking thing.
Well, we did just see Dan Scavino post on Twitter just yesterday or 2 days ago, and the IRS, something to that extent. So there are these whispers within this administration that there is major change coming to obviously the IRS, the Federal Reserve, the Treasury. And you and I have talked about a lot of those. It all comes back to this Jassara plan that we have been anticipating. I put that out in 2022, and so much of it I still stand behind 100%. The only thing that's really changed is, clarification on, no CBDCs in America, whereas other countries, they still are on that CBDC thing. But, everything Trump has done for crypto, amazing. The SEC XRP lawsuit ending just last week, that we haven't even really seen the big pump yet. I mean, this is historic, that I got to announce that in my video last week. It actually just broke like minutes before I was recording my video last week. And I was like, is this real? Is this the real end? Is this finally happening? And so I feel like we haven't really seen price action yet, but I mean, that is huge, correct? I mean, are you anticipating this is the beginning of the rocket launch?
Absolutely. But in the meantime, they're going to keep that price nice and low to keep people under pressure saying when. I've been here for 9 years. and I'm not going anywhere. I'm here to collect. I'm here to collect my money. Who's got my fucking money? Give me my money, right? So, but the bottom line, the central bank digital currency, you hit a nail on the head. The central bank, let me educate the international audience. There's nothing to stress. And Dylan is about to back what I'm about to tell you. These asset classes work perfectly well peer to peer. In other words, you are your own bank. You could pay anybody, or if you're a business, you could receive money from anybody. They could send the money directly to your wallet. Do you need a central bank digital currency? The Chinese communist government cannot come to your house and put a gun to your head, say you have to use another bridge called the central bank digital currency. They can't do it because the local shop that says, I accept XRP, I accept XLM, I accept XDC, the same way that XRP, XLM, XDC, and thousands of these tokens work in the United States is the same way they work in those countries as well that are dictatorships, communist, oligarchs, whatever. So stop stressing over nonsensical bullshit. Central bank digital currencies are DOA, dead on arrival. This is the big Mexican standoff. If the central bank digital currency was a legitimate monetary system, and we have no choice, nobody. Right now, the XRP would be, hundreds and hundreds of dollars, but because you have to go through a controlling mechanism called the central bank digital currency, they would either allow you to buy, sell, trade, or they don't allow you because you're a dissident like myself, and you're not allowed to talk, you're not allowed to think, you're not allowed to use your popcorn money to buy chicken, you're not allowed to use your chicken money to buy steaks, you're not allowed to use your steak money to pay a bill. You understand? You get the picture. Am I right or am I wrong, Dylan?
I mean, that's the fear with central bank digital currencies, which is the direction countries like China are going in. But with Trump saying no central bank digital currency, more and more of these American European companies accepting XRP, my XRP is in a wallet right now that's not connected to my name at all. So, I mean, they may have a way of targeting me somehow, or breaking into my house, stealing my whatever. But like, it's more decentralized, is what I'm saying. And so it's going to be. I mean, if they want to be totalitarian, they're going to find a way to do it, I think. But if we keep voting in people like Trump with that type of philosophy, as opposed to Democrats that are communist, which is known to want to, to just be totalitarian like that and censor people for their speech and then turn off their bank accounts like we've seen in Canada already happen and was beginning to happen even in the USA under Biden. And with the censorship, we got to vote for the opposite of that, and that is the free speech party, the sanity party, the common sense party, which is currently Donald Trump and that agenda. And we know it won't always be Donald Trump, but we will put candidates in place that support actual freedom and not this illusion of freedom that these Democrats are promoting.
Absolutely. But in America, we have something called the Second Amendment, and we all have some of those hardwares. And so if someone comes to my house and says, you have to use a central bank digital currency, Mel, you've been a bad boy, that's not going to fly well. You see, because they got hardware, we got hardware. And because we have so much hardware, they have to think twice to even go down that path. They don't have that luxury in other countries. I understand that. I get that. But eventually, I think things are going to change even in that department. But the censorship is so much at this point that they're stealing your money. They're stealing the money of all these podcasters. We got podcasters making $200,000-300,000 a year, or $500,000 a year, and they become comfortable. They think they've arrived when they don't realize, shit, Nino Rodriguez should not be at 500,000 people. He should be at 5 million people. That means, dude, they're stealing 90% of your money. If they're
Oh
not
my.
allowing you to get to the real number, let's say the audience decides no bumps in the road, a level playing field, nobody controls speech, the microphones are completely unclogged. Nino Rodriguez reaches 5 million people. 5 million people, he'd be making a lot more money than 500,000 people. Am I right or am I
And
wrong?
then I could go on his show and make a lot more money too.
Bingo.
Now, what inspired you to make this? Because I feel like your channel came up after most of the censorship. Correct me if I'm wrong, but let us know, like, what's your own censorship? I'm sure this is in the documentary, but give us a little preview of briefly, like, what have you experienced and what's your main gripe? Is it the shadow banning, the lack of bigger numbers? Have you actually had accounts deleted? What's been your experience and what made you want to make this documentary?
Well, both actually, because I've had accounts deleted, I've lost channels along the way, just like everybody else. And when I was 10,000, 12,000 subscribers, and I would bring on a David Straight or a big name, I would get 120,000 views in one weekend. And I'm at 12,000. Now, if I bring in a big name like Juan Savine, for example, or a David Straight, rest his soul, I know we know he's dead, right? I'm lucky if I get 12,000, 15,000 views. Meanwhile, my 7 channels today are well over 200,000 subscribers, but yet I can't get past, 12,000 views on a really, really good video, 13,000 views. What's wrong with that picture besides everything? I mean, I was born at night, but not last night. You know what I mean? I understand basic math, and I understand that someone is screwing the pooch.
There's a lot of manipulation on Rumble and YouTube. And, I noticed that, generally you have a number of subscribers and then a video gets like a smaller number of views than that, sometimes a lot smaller. But I noticed some channels are getting like almost as many views as their subscribers, like consistently. And I'm just like, what's going on here?
Yeah,
There's all kinds of things going on. It could be AI, it could be algorithms, or it could be some form of preference. I even believe that the white hats are in a way controlling some of this and putting out voices that have been sanctioned, let's say, which I support. I support getting their message out, but I think that there should be a little more of a freedom in this freedom of speech country. We pride ourselves on America, home of the free and the brave. But even with these companies, some of them are even based in Canada. Like Rumble started in Canada, and so we got to be really cautious of these things, and we got to make sure the First Amendment is being enforced. And shadow banning is censorship. That's what I'm experiencing right now. I have more subscribers than I've ever had on my channel, which is 17,000. Which 17,000 was my big landmark. I was so excited to get to. But it's like my views are just, 1,000 per video, 2,000 here and there. It is a great idea that you're planning to stream this live on Rumble because I have noticed that when you live stream a Rumble, it gets way more views just by the nature of the live stream. Those are pumped to the front of the list, which, is a little bit odd to me as well that, you have to live stream to get views nowadays, but it is what it is. You got to learn the game and you got to learn how to play it. So that would be a good strategy to simul stream it on everyone's channel involved would really make an impact and hopefully, make its way up to the eyes of the president or, whoever's in charge of his social media direction. So
yeah.
I'm excited for this to come out.
Yeah, no, it's going to be very exciting. As a matter of fact, the documentary trailer doesn't really serve it any justice, but I will tell you emphatically, unequivocally, the actual documentary itself is 100 times more powerful. 100 times. I can tell you that this came about because when you hit a brick wall and you can't go any further, and someone is in control of your treadmill, and you want to go 100 miles an hour, but someone else says no, you can only go 10 miles an hour. I have a problem with that.
Yeah.
You
And
know,
the days are so long gone of the organic growth, like when you could share a video on Facebook and actually have your friends see it. Like nowadays on Facebook, it's so strange. Like, people used to share things like that and they would spread. But nowadays on Facebook, you share a video and it gets like 0 views, no matter how many friends you have. But you share a status update saying like, I don't know, like I broke up with my boyfriend or girlfriend, and it's like everyone's commenting. But it's like when you share actual information, it's like, let's put that in the bin over
yeah. I
here.
mean, I'll give you a classic example. Amber and I own Staying Alive here in Cape Canaveral with double E at the end. The other one belongs to the Bee Gees, right? Staying with the ing alive with 2 E's.com. You can go take a look at all the testimonials. Our machines are not medical devices. We don't make any medical claims that, you come here, you're going to be cured from this, that, and the other. No, we don't. As a matter of fact, we say the opposite. We say it's your own body that recognizes the frequency, and it's your own body. We can't say these things because someone else is in charge. The medical industry pays Washington, D.C. and the big tech giants billions of dollars to make sure guys like me get crushed like the little cockroaches that we are. You understand?
Indeed, yeah.
And meanwhile, we have dozens. I mean, if you go to our Telegram, which is Miracles in Cape Canaveral, we have hundreds of testimonials from this technology from all over the world that can literally reverse anything and everything. Okay, even the one that starts with a C and ends with an R, stage 4, they come and they see me, and the doctors basically said, "Go get your affairs in order. You got 2 weeks left to live. Maybe you won't even make it past this weekend." And they come send them to the ex pizza guy, ex pizzeria impresario. All right. And I'm supposed to do something about it. And I didn't go to school for 29 years like these bozos who pump you up with a bunch of medicines that don't work. Everybody's in a zombified like state. They come and staying alive within 2 weeks, within a week and a half, within 10 days. You start to see a drastic improvement that's visual, that's factual, that you could basically, touch, smell, and feel, and you could prove all day long. I've seen this with my own eyes. I always tell them, listen, you're in bad shape. I don't know that if you're going to make it. I'm not a doctor. I'm not allowed to give you that kind of advice. I didn't go to school for 29 years to be stupid like the rest of the guys. But I can tell you this. I said, just because somebody invented a technology, Dylan, that doesn't necessarily mean that they understand their own technology. That means they invented a technology. Somebody else comes along like me and says, listen, this technology works, but you got to live in that technology 24 hours a day for 2 months to start to see real, and sure enough, I was right. I did it with my mom, and then I proved it over and over and over again with many, many other patients. And then you start to see, and I always tell them, hey, here's the good news. The good news is you're going to have to come live with Mel Carmine. You ready for the bad news? You're going to have to come live with Mel Carmine. You're going to have to live in my system for 2 months. If you're messed up and you got, all kinds of things that I can't mention here, you guys could figure that out on your own, because I'm not allowed to mention it because somebody else is in charge. They own the language, they own the airwaves, they own everything. We're just a bunch of nothings. You got to come live in our technology. It's the frequency that goes through your body that the body recognizes, and then the cells in your body, 33 trillion of them, get optimized to 90 millivolts. And when they get optimized to 90 millivolts, guess what? Your body has only one choice. It's called repair itself. Repair itself. And it goes right down the line. If you got 5 things, it'll say, okay, this is the most critical. This is the second most critical. This is the third, and so on. And right down the line, just like it happened with my mom. And 2 months later, my mom, people that, she lives in assisted living over there in Glendale, California. Okay. The doctors, the nurses, the staff, the owners, they could not believe. She left in a wheelchair. She was more on the other side than this side, if you know what I mean, completely on a copious amount of drugs, right? We're not allowed to advertise this. We are advertising the most compelling testimonials on YouTube, on Instagram, on Facebook, only to find out later down the road, months and months after we're out of pocket, tens of thousands of dollars, that the money we spent on those ads to be seen weren't being seen, and they were sending bots to my website to give me the illusion. And that story is told in the documentary.
Yeah. I'm glad you brought up medical censorship, because that's actually the censorship I've experienced most recently. I remember I ran into you at the event at Trump Doral, the Charlie Ward Expo.
Right.
And it was from that expo, I did a 2-part documentary of it that I made videos for. And because of mentioning a certain substance that was the main subject that the keynote speaker at that event talks about, CDS, let's call it for now. I'm not going to say the whole word, because literally that one word got my part 2 of that documentary censored off YouTube, and I got a strike. And literally just for saying it, like I was literally reading a business card. I wasn't even saying anything about it, just saying those 3 words together, or the 2 words together, just drove the YouTube algorithm off the wall. And so it's like, we really saw the medical censorship rise during the C-19 and talking about the jab. You couldn't mention that. And then, prior to that, we saw all that censorship revolved around the election, which I guess now you can say that word, you can say the QA word now, but certain medical terms on YouTube are still no go. And it's like we need freedom of speech, especially to talk about that kind of thing, especially to talk about staying alive, which is one of the most basic functions of life, right? And the epidemic of all these different diseases that are being thrown at us from big food, big agro, and big pharma. And so, yeah, I'm glad that's included because, like I said, there's multiple fronts of this censorship. There's outright banning, shadow banning, medical, political. Those are the main categories, I would say. But slowly all these things are becoming more and more mainstream, and so they are on the losing side of history for sure. And I'm excited for this documentary to come out. This was supposed to be a shorter interview, so anything else you want to add here, Mel?
Just we're going to play the final video, which you don't have access to, but I do. I'm gonna share my screen here if you
All
don't
right,
mind.
awesome. Go
It's a
ahead.
short video. Let me know if you can see it.
Yes,
Can you see it?
yes.
Name is Mel Carmine. This movie will be free to the general public to view in movie theaters and online when it is released. But let me be crystal clear. Freedom is not free. This documentary is still in production, and without your support, it may never reach the hearts and minds that need it most. While the enemy floods the world with lies and bullshit propaganda, we're putting everything on the line for you to expose the truth and defend our republic from collapsing into full-blown Marxist communism. This is America's final stand. If you understand what is truly at stake here, your donation isn't charity, it's your obligation. Whether it's $10, $50, or more, give what you can. Because if you can help and don't, what will you tell your grandchildren when they ask what side of history you were on in 2025? In the name of our Almighty God, do the right thing. Help us finish this fight. Everyone's freedom depends on it. President Donald J. Trump cannot do this alone. Stand with him. Stand with America. Use the link below to donate. My name is Mel Carr.
There you go. I mean,
I
look,
love it.
I'm funding it with staying alive, my business, my money. But we could use a couple of dollars, even though the movie's going to be free. We're not charging anybody online or anybody who wants to show it at their healing centers. There's 28 healing centers like mine. Let me stop sharing the window. Okay, we're back to normal here, right, with the screen.
Yes.
Okay, so we have 28 centers. We got a couple of motorcycle clubs. We got a couple of corporations that have large groups that want to show the movie. If you have maybe 20 or 30 neighbors that want to get together in one living room and you want to watch the movie, get in touch with me at 786. You can send me a text, 786-704-8817. Say, I would love to show the movie. What's the next step? My name is John Smith. Okay. And I will tell you exactly what to do. We'll send you the actual link, which is a high resolution. It's not going to be a link that you're going to pass around. You're going to sign a non-disclosure that you're not going to pass it around. And because when the movie comes out, technically speaking, on the 9th, which is 999, by the way, it's going to start at 9 o'clock in the morning at 9/9, okay, which is my birthday. And no, I don't want a gift. And 2025, which is if you add 2025, 225 equals 9. So we got a quadruple 9 going. From a numerology standpoint, I understand that's a big powerhouse number, and always launch stuff, they say, when the sun is rising, okay, which is at 9 o'clock in the morning. I think the sun is rising.
Well, I'm looking forward to it. I definitely would like to simultaneously stream it. What do they call that on Rumble? Like there's a word for it when you stream someone else's stream, but I'm definitely down to do that. So
Yeah,
you guys
we're
will
going to
see
get
it.
as many podcasters as possible. Also, same number, 786-704-8817. If you're a podcaster, you want to restream this, the day it goes out live on the 9th at 9 o'clock in the morning. I hope we have 1,000. I hope we have 10,000 podcasters restreaming this. It's going to be 24 hours restream. That means when it stops playing, it plays again from the beginning. And anybody could watch it and just keep spreading the links out there. We're just, we're much more powerful than they give us credit for. If we all decided that we're all 8 billion people stand up, I guarantee you the New World Order would absolutely take a shit in their pants. They
Oh
would
yeah.
stand no chance.
I believe the white hats are listening to all of our channels. That's why aside from just the people that watch it, the civilians that watch it, like these administrations and even these agencies are paying attention. And so you're doing a great job getting the word out and raising awareness of the censorship issue and all the different aspects of it. So thank you so much, Mel
I
Carmine.
appreciate it.
Everybody, go to
One last thing, if you don't mind.
dearmrpresident.net.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, one last thing. If you guys need to buy a large amount of XRP, same number. Tell me who you are. $10,000 gets you in the door. Next month you only have 3,000. Fine, but the initiation to get in is $10,000. I have brokers all over the world. Okay, Dubai, Abu Dhabi, Australia, you name it. Call me. I'll put you through my broker. Well, why do I need to do that, Mel? I could go to Coinbase. Well, try to get some customer service out of Coinbase. Good luck with that. Or Uphold. Good luck with that. Well, Mel, I don't want to pay 3.5%. You're paying 3.5% whether you use my broker or not. The only difference is if you want someone to call you, someone's going to call you. If you want someone help with your wallet, someone's going to help you with your wallet. Customer service. You understand? It's priceless. So there you go. Thank you, brother. I appreciate you so much.
And I just want to end it with saying, check out dearmrpresident.net and of course Mel on Rumble and YouTube, XRPQFS. Is that correct? Is that
Yeah.
that's the name of your channel, right?
Yeah, it's
1776.
XRPQF. Let's say it's no QFS1776.com. That's the holy grail of wanting to learn what this new financial system is, this new facelift that's coming, and it's coming. Okay, if you watch the videos from top to bottom, I guarantee you will get a black belt education completely at no cost. I don't
Nice.
monetize everything, right?
And yeah, if you're going to put this on your channel, I'll let people know that I just 2 weeks ago did my own introduction to crypto video of how I would do. Everybody probably does it a little bit differently, but I did my, which exchanges and wallets and things I would recommend. I just did that 2 weeks ago for the newbies, and I'm still getting emails of people saying, "How do I get into crypto? Like, give me a tutorial." I'm like, I just did a tutorial. So yeah, you can find that on my channel too. It's called Crypto for Beginners from just a couple weeks ago. That's on New Templars on Rumble as well as YouTube. Or on YouTube, I'm DSMP Nexus because New Templars got banned. I had to change the name. And so even marketing these basic promotion things become so much more complex because of this censorship. But that's where we're at. And that's why the documentary is coming out. So thanks for watching, guys. And prepare for that documentary coming out in September. We'll see you next time. New Templars.